Alright, well met, traveler! My name is Matt. This is Stock Speedrun number 1 for the weekend of July 2nd, 2022. Happy Independence Day for those of you in the United States, like myself, and what the hell, even if you're not. If you are unfamiliar, not if you're familiar, if you are unfamiliar, of course. I've said this enough times, you know, I feel like I should know what it is already. If you are unfamiliar with what a stock speedrun is, you can check this video description for an explanation and a disclaimer as to its content. Let us see what we have here. Advantage Solutions! Very promising name. They seem to promise solutions to advanced things, or advanced solutions to simple things. I guess we're about to find out. Ooh, already I'm seeing something I like. Acquired brand share. I don't know what brand share is, but I like when things acquire things. Very exciting! Let's see here. New York-based audience engagement and sampling agency brings new. I guess that's what brand share is. So why does Advantage want brand share? I should read about what Advantage is, and I wonder if it's going to help them start making money eventually, because these look kind of. Actually, the revenue's not bad. Into the billions. That's kind of impressive. Earnings not as impressive. Seems to be struggling a bit to make any kind of money, or any kind of decent money, at least. Let's see, what kind of business is this? Outsource solutions to consumer goods companies, retailers in North America. Hey, that's where I am! And internationally, it operates in two segments, sales and marketing. Sales segment offers brand-centric services, blah, 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 blah. Segment, excuse me. Provides retailer-centric services, blah, blah, blah. Marketing section provides brand-centric services, including shopper and consumer marketing, brand experimental services, blah, blah, blah. Company formerly known as Carmen Holding Corp. Changed its name. So they are marketing. It is marketing. I think that's kind of all we got to know about this. So let's see, what else do I want to look at? So if it's marketing, I could see why acquiring brand share would definitely help. Audience engagement and sampling agency, so you can better target your target and engage with your audience. That makes sense. However, you know, something I want to see is that usually when there is one acquisition, there's a bunch of acquisitions. Especially with a company like this who seems to be just starting. Well, are they just starting? I mean, if I was to look at their earnings, I would say that I would say they were just starting, because it's kind of rough going here. But apparently they've been a company since 1987, albeit under a different name, but still, that makes these numbers less impressive, because apparently they have been failing to turn a profit for longer than I have been alive. So that is, I don't know if the right word is interesting, but it's definitely, you know, it's definitely something. Yeah. And I would say that this general downward chart basically reflects how I'm feeling right now. I wonder how far this downtrend goes. Show me 5 years! Okay. Seems to have really started right around May of 21. Pretty much kinda just sideways before that. Actually, wait a minute. If I go to the max chart, it's only taking me back to January of 2020. Did it only become public then? What if I was to look for interesting to Advantage Solutions? No, that was March of 2016. So it's not like before January of 2020 it was under a different name, and that's why it's not showing up in the chart, because that happened in 2016. No, I guess it only became public. That's a hell of a time to become public, I'm not gonna lie. Like, January of 2020, you're so excited, you're about to be on the, you know, like a big boy company on the stock market, and I think we all know what happened. That's some bad luck there, bro. Although it seems like it didn't have much of a dent in their stock price, and I kind of understand why it doesn't, especially because when it seems like you're mostly in digital marketing solutions seems to be a large part of their business, so I can understand that. Also, I don't think it necessarily would have prevented it from going up either, because I can't imagine this would have gone up, because these numbers are terrible. And what I find surprising is that it actually took over a year later for the eventual downside to hit the market and be like, why are we buying this stuff? This thing sucks. So that's what's surprising about the chart here, I'll tell you that. Okay, let's take a look at these numbers. PE kind of high, that makes sense. Even now when it slid down to about $4, PE is still pretty high. I can't imagine what it was. PE must have been in the... Actually, we can mathify that, can't we? I think so. Let me get up the calculator. So at, let's see, what was it closing? 339. Sorry, not 339, 390, 339. I can't talk. So at this number, and for the sake of these calculations, I'm going to assume that earnings have stayed constant, even though they're not, because they kind of were. So I think that's a general good guess. So with this, the PE ratio is 17.9, right? And roughly before this downslide, it was at 1286. So if I was to take 1286, oh wait, no. 1286 divided by 3.93. So that 1286 was 3.27 times the price that it is now. So if I take that PE ratio and times that, I'm pretty sure this math works out. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this properly. Don't quote me though. So back here, PE ratio was roughly about 55. That is badonkers. And I'm kind of glad that people eventually figured out this is trash, because the last thing that I want to see is something that I think is trash be hyped up and bought by a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, and they eventually end up losing a whole bunch of money, and it's very sad. GameStop. Oh man, that was bad. So let's see here, what else we got? Potentially undervalued. I would disagree. If anything, it is overvalued, good sir, with a market cap of still 1.25 billion, which, when compared to the earnings, seems, or sorry, not the earnings, the revenue seems reasonable, but those earnings are still trash. Might not be a large cap stock. Oh, you don't say. But it saw significant share price movement during recent months on the Nasdaq. It did? What the fuck are you talking about, Simply Wall Street? Rising to highs of 787, falling to lows of 503. Yeah. Oh, what's your? I feel like this is an automated article. Gotta be, because this is nonsense. Advantage Unified. I mean, I so far the only thing that I really like is the fact that this was acquisition. You know, that makes it seem like they're at least making moves to become a better company. It's still up in the air whether or not it's going to work out for them, and I don't know if I would want to bet the farm on that. At least not yet. At least not until I see some evidence of, you know, some good shit happening. Announces CEO transition. Ooh, this lady coming or going? Oh, wow. CEO is a woman and COO is a woman. Fascinating. Not that that matters. I'm a proponent of meritocracy myself. But, you know, it's always nice to see. Alright, let's see. To transition to executive chair and... Oh, they were recently elevated. Wait, executive chair. What is the difference between executive chair and CEO? On the third... so what, they're not CEO and COO anymore? Retires Advantage Chief Executive Officer and transition to the role of Executive Chair effective April 1st. What the hell is the difference? You know what? That might be a good topic for a learn-along. I'm going to write that down. CEO versus Executive Chair. I like that. I like that. And then, where's this lady going? Jill Griffin to become third Chief Executive Officer. What does that even mean? COO to executive officer. Okay, that's written down. That's definitely coming up for a learn along in the future. If I ever get back to those, who knows? Okay, let's see here. Participated upcoming thing. On the verge of breaking even. I mean, they've kind of been on the verge of breaking even for 3 years now, but then again, that's the kind of opinion that I would expect from someone like Simpleton Wall Street. What else do we got here? Is it good stock to buy? I am not seeing it. So I think we move on from these articles now. I don't really have much else that I want to see here. I want to see what people have to say. Take a look at the peanut gallery. And I got the, let's see, what would I want to look up in Google? I wonder if I can find, you know what I want to look up in Google? Okay, so there's no one talking in here. It's all the Yahoo Finance Insights bot talking to itself. You know what I would want to look up? I would want to look up business history from before this became this. I want to look up Carmen Holding Corp. Carmen Holding Corp. Earnings? Earnings history? Carmen Corporation common stock. Carmen Corporation. Oh, that's good. That's common. Cayman? Common? I don't know how you pronounce that. Probably known as So I don't think I can get a history from before it became public. And, you know, just let me confirm if that's when this became public, was January of 2021. So this is Advantage Solutions. IPO 2020. We go public in SPAC deal. That makes sense that it was a SPAC deal. Oh, wait a minute. No. Okay, 1 second here. Hold the phone, people. So if I go back, I look at the max chart, right? So I see it started here. Actually, it looks like it is technically 2019. December 30th of 2019. So this was a SPAC up until at least September 8th of 2020. So from here to here, it was a SPAC. Okay? We're gonna start doing some historical digging. So it was here from a SPAC, and it makes sense why this point would be, well, two things here I'm seeing. One, it's the start of some significant volatility when there wasn't much before, and two, it is the start of significant volume, starting with this big old red piece, right? I was about to say something inappropriate, but this big old red bar right here. So that makes sense. So that's when it was announced, and it started that volatility. The next thing I want to find out is when it actually happened. I still see articles from September. Okay, at least we know what it was called before, too. Conyers Park 2 Acquisition Corp. Announced closing of business combination. Publicly traded, founded by blah, 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 blah. Where did it say? Today announced the completion of the previously announced business combination. Following this transaction, the combined company has been renamed Advantage Solutions and is on the NASDAQ. So that happened on... Actually, that was pretty quick. That was faster than you usually see things happen. It was announced on September 8th, and then it happened on October 28th. Okay, so if I go to October 28th, that is here, roughly. So post-announcement, kind of... I guess people didn't like it. Kind of went down a little bit. Post-announcement, or not post-announcement, post-merge, a lot of volatility. That's when the volatility starts. You got the ups, you got the downs, you got the ups, and then you got the downs, and then you got the, oh no, wait, it's just down. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that I want to look at here. I kind of want to just... Did something happen on December 14th or the week of December 14th? Fourth solid fourth quarter and full year. No. Because I kind of wonder what this big green spike of volume here is. What could have happened? I don't know, and I guess I will never know. Wonderful. So I know I said I don't like a lot of what I see. But I gotta tell you, the fact that... So there's two things that want to move me from this sell button to this hold button. The first one is that even though they're not really making good money, they're not exactly hemorrhaging money either. They're kind of towing the line, which makes me think that there could very easily be a breakout point eventually where they start growing those earnings and perhaps even the revenues too. So that's because there's not a noticeable downward trend. It's kind of in a holding pattern, which it could very easily stay there. So think of it as a flow chart, right? Think of it as a flow chart. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna break out the MS Paint for this. Think of it as a flow chart, and what I'm envisioning in my head is that up here you have this box that says, so this is our, actually, no, wait, I fucked up already. So this is our starting point, right? Now, you would think that from this starting point, you would have three options, right? It stays in the holding pattern, it goes down, or it goes up, right? This is not how I'm seeing it. What I'm seeing it as is a two branch. It stays in the holding pattern or it moves out of the holding pattern, right? So stay, move. Okay, now of these, what do I think is the most likely? That's kind of hard to say. I'm gonna be honest. It depends on the time frame we're talking about. It depends on a lot of unknowns that I really don't have insight into, so I don't really know if I can... I mean, if you were to put a gun to my head and say what the odds of both of these are, I would say in any, you know, n amount of time... excuse me, I'm only dying. In any amount of time, I would say probably 50-50. Kind of even, maybe. But then... where I feel more strongly about the odds is when you get into this second layer of decision making. So now, if you go down the stay branch, then this is your end point. You know, you're just staying. Down the move branch, you have two more options to consider, right? You have to consider, now here's where those other two options come into play. Is it going to go up, or is it going to go down? Up, down. Now, I probably could have made this a three-way decision branch to begin with, but I wanted to accentuate the difference between my thinking it's going to go up and it's going to go down. And I felt this was a better way to represent that without getting stuck into the wishy-washiness of whether I think it's going to stay or move, which is less, you know, I feel less strongly about. But I feel strongly about this, between moving up or moving down. I think I think the chance of it moving down is almost non-existent, based on what I've seen. I would give it maybe, like, I don't know, just for sake of argument, because, you know, I personally don't like speaking in absolutes. So because I always think that anything is possible. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this a 3% chance. And that's just me arbitrarily picking a non-zero number, a low non-zero number, okay? As for up, 97. Okay? Now I gave this a roughly even chance, so 50% move, 50% stay. So what that means is that this 50% distributed amongst these numbers, you have... Oh shit, I gotta do math again. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna make this 4% just so I can do the math easier in my head. So that's 4%, okay? So that means that this 50% gets distributed. This becomes 2% out of the 100% we started with here, and this becomes 48% of the total vision. So if we were to go back, come on. I'm too lazy to use the eraser. Wait, why can't I go back any further? Oh, I gotta use the eraser. Good. Actually, no, I could just do this. There, that works. So yeah, if we go back to this, and we turn it into a 3 branch, is it gonna stay? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I had this at 50. I had this at 48. I had this at 2%. Okay? Now, the reason why I don't want to hit that sell button is... And again, timetables are completely up for debate here. You could be waiting a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years before a flowchart like this becomes even remotely relevant. But talking about... And so this is the reason why I don't really want to hit that... Oh, shit, what happened? What happened to my window? There we go. Okay. So that's kind of the reason why I don't want to hit that sell button, is because... Yes, there's a chance you might buy it. And again, this is investing advice. Please do your own research. You know, disclaimer on this video is very important. But if you do buy it, there's a 50% chance, you know, you'll stay there. You won't lose any money, most likely. At least not a significant amount. But you probably won't, probably won't gain any money. But then there's a 40% chance that you might. And I think that's reasonable enough for hitting that hold button. Now, what I'm talking... And, you know, something I probably should clarify is that this whole flowchart, this whole chance of it staying, going up, going down, is more how I feel about the earnings and the earnings potential than the actual share price itself. The share price could continue going down until this flowchart actually kicks into effect. That's extremely possible. But once this flowchart does kick in, you know, the price of a stock usually does generally reflect the direction of the earnings. So I think that's something else to clear up too. That this is more how I feel about the earnings than I do the price. You can apply this once the earnings catch up. Maybe, but that's a clarification that I feel like I have to make. So, with all of that, you know, that whole rambling out of the way, I'm going to hit this hold button, and I hope they don't let me down. Where did my mouse go? There it is. I will see you in the next one, good human person.